Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh, Baha Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Baha Hashem, Rikah Kadash. Yahweh been the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah been the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now we're going to get into some prophecy, and mainly the prophecy about so-called white Jesus. And this is a great prophecy because this is what Revelation chapter 1 is talking about. This is what Wisdom of Solomon brought out. And Yahushua, who they even call Jesus Christ, in Matthew 24, he said this is what we was going to have to look after, this false prophet. And these people that sin, they the anointed. And he said this would also be a sign. So when you go into the Wisdom of Solomon, it gives you the whole history of this white Jesus. It gives you the whole history on how Pope Alexander VI, the sixth Pope of Rome, I think, he, the Boziers family, Caesar Bozier, he gave the history in Wisdom of Solomon. This is another reason they took it out of the scriptures. In the Wisdom of Solomon, it gives you a detailed description on what was going to be happening. Now I'm thinking Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 or 15. Let me see real quick. 15 verse, no, chapter 14 verse 15. It says, for a father afflicted with untimely mourning when he have made an image. Okay, so now he's saying that this father done made an image. What was the image that this father made? He made the image of his son, which turns out to be the image of the beast. Okay, and not being specific as Caesar Borgia as the beast, but he put his son up, and his son was a part of the false prophet, which is talking about a nation of people. See, they're going on in chapter 14, verse 15. It says, for a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he have made an image of his child, soon took away. So Caesar Borgia was finna die, or had died already, and he put an image of his son up to be portrayed as Yahushua. It says, an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man. Okay, so this is a major prophecy that Solomon had gave out in the book of Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha. Now it says, which was a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Verse 16, it says, thus in process of time and ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandment of kings. So this white Jesus was going to be a graven image that these people bowing down to. You can see them Hamites, they bowing down and bowing down and kissing the feet of white Jesus, while one of these Catholic priests is holding up the cross with white Jesus on it. Okay, it says verse 17, who men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his vintage from far and made an express image of a king who they'd honor. Okay, so this Caesar Borgia was the son of Alexander, the sixth Pope of Rome, Caesar Borgia's father, and people from afar start taking this image and duplicating it. See, and so they all start making these images of Yahushua look similar to Caesar Borgia, and it was all from a specific nation. Now this is in Revelations 20, I'm thinking. But let me jump down to verse 20. It says, and so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god. See, that's why you got these Christians saying Jesus is God. It says, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored as a man. Okay, so Caesar Borgia was honored as a man under his father. He was the son of Alexander, the Pope of Rome, the sixth Pope of Rome, and so now people is taking him as God. They're looking at Caesar Borgia or anybody that's similar to Caesar Borgia, and they're looking at him as God. Then when you go into Revelations 20, it tells you about the nation that was going to be doing this. Revelations but let me get 19 and 20 to add with it. It says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, because the beast and the beast is the nation, and the false prophet is those religious people of that nation pushing their Christianity, they Catholic Church, Catholic dogma. Okay, this is Revelation 19 and 20. It says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which with which he deceived them that had dwelt, which he had deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. Okay, and them that worship his image. See, these the false prophet of the beast set up white Jesus so they can mess with these people's mind. And let me jump back to chapter 12 before I go into 20, because this image caused another major situation. This is Revelation 12 and 9. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. This is how they deceived the whole world. You see, they put up that white Jesus, and see that red dragon is talking about the nation of Edom. The nation of Edom who deceived the whole world with their false prophet. Now, if this is 20, going into Caesar Borgia, chapter 20 of Revelation, going into the Caesar Borgia situation, it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. This is talking about the Renaissance time. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. So the Edomites was bounded for 1,000 years. They was taken out of power when they was ruling as the Romans, when that Greco-Roman Empire, which was just an Edomite empire. Verse 13, it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. So they wasn't deceiving the nations and doing like they was doing during the Greeks and the Romans. Now here in it says that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loose for a little season. So he was loose out of the bottomless pit in 1492, and when they was setting up Caesar Borgia and that white Jesus. Now I'm thinking in 17 it addressed it too. It shows how this beast, what is it? Revelation 17 and not 11. Revelation 17 and 8 shows you how this beast was coming out of the Renaissance time, or going into the Renaissance time. This Revelation 17 and 8, it said, the beast that thou saw was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. Okay, so the beast came out of the bottomless pit. He wasn't just put in the bottomless pit. How they try to say that the bottomless pit is hell, when it's not. It was just, he took them Edomites out of power for 1,000 years, and then he was going to let them out of that bottomless pit to get back into power into in the Renaissance time. In 1492 they came back into power. Okay, and it says they that dwell upon the earth shall wonder, whose name was not written in the book of life for the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. So they gonna see these Edomites come out and start deceiving the nations again, because they was coming out of that Renaissance era, because the Israelites during the Byzantine Empire and the Moors, they was ruling for 1,000 years, and these Edomites came out of perdition, or came out of that bottomless pit, which is that pit stands for land. See, that land is not at the bottom, it's at the top. See, it's not on the bottom, it's the land of the north, and this is where they coming out of. Now I want to get another one. Is it in Revelation? Yeah, Revelation 13 and start with 7. It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. So this is talking about this beast that came out of the bottomless pit. And that's another thing. When you jump back up to verse 4 of this Revelation 13 and 4, it says, and they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast. The beast and the dragon is the same thing. The beast that came out of the bottomless pit is 10 kings. When you go to Revelation 17 and 12, say those 10 horns is 10 kings that's on that beast. So the beast is 10 kings that was going to come out of the bottomless pit, that was going to come out of the land of the north, which is Europe. See, during the Renaissance time, they was going to be reborn, or what they call a rebirth. That's what Renaissance mean. They was going to have a rebirth, and that beast and that dragon is the same 10 kings. You see, it's not talking about no people, no fallen angels going into some pit or abyss that's floating around in outer space. Well, these people put in their stupid movies, man. There's 10 kings that know, and then look at the rest of the verse 4. It says in Revelation 13 and 4, it says, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? See, the beast and the dragon and these 10 kings, these 10 Edomite kings, the so-called white men, the NATO, nobody can make war with them. So they was coming out of that bottomless pit, and they was being reborn into the Renaissance time, and they put up white Jesus, and everybody worshiping their image. See, the image of the so-called white man, the image of the Edomites, they put their image up, and now people worshiping them. That's why it says they worship the dragon, which gave the power to the beast, and they worship the beast. See, both of them, they worshiping the so-called white man. It's not talking about specifically Caesar Borgia, but that's a part of the prophecy that he started it off, where they started to, and I'm gonna go back to the Wisdom of Solomon. They started to copy what Caesar Borgia did. It says, what's the part I wanted? It said, men from afar. Okay, that verse 17 is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 17. It says, who men could not honor in presence, but they dwelt far off, because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his ventures from far. So they made a copy of that, what Caesar Borgia did, and put up their own version of white Jesus. Jehovah Wickedness, they put up their own version of white Jesus. Put them on the watchtowers and the awakes, and they put them all around the world, try to brag on all these languages. Oh, we got our magazines in 100,000s of languages. That's the Lord working. All this kind of stuff. And they portraying white Jesus on all these magazines, because they pushing it more than the Christian church, because the Christian church don't really have no pamphlets like that. They got websites and stuff, but now that before the internet popped off, it was mainly the Jehovah Wickedness pushing this image, they counterfeit version of Edomite Jesus. They pushing this man all over the place. It says, and made an express image of a king who they honored, to the end that by their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent, as if he was present. See, they acting like they trying to flatter Caesar Borgia, but really they flattering the nation of Edomites. The Israelites was looking like us. See, now I want to get that 13. That was 4, verse 4, but I want to get verse 7 to show how these Edomites, once they set up that white Jesus and people started worshiping them, they took it worldwide. This Revelation 13 and 7, it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and overpower, and power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. So he was given power. That's why in 1865, they took their Christian church to Hong Kong. They took their white Jesus to Hong Kong and started pushing it on the darn Chinese Moabite peoples, and all over the world. Verse 8, it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. See, worship him through white Jesus and their Christianity, Catholic dogma, pushing him up to being God. Okay, then you get the classic in Job 9 and 24. See if I can get that real quick. Job chapter 9 verse 24. And Job was living in the land of the Edomites. It said, Job, the man that dwelled in the land of Uz. Uz was a son of Esau. He was living in the land of the Edomites. So when he talking about the earth, he talking about the whole earth, plus he talking about the land of Uz, or the Edomites. Verse and this also is a prophecy. Verse 24 of chapter 9 of Job. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. See, he covered over the Israelite face. It says, if not, where and who is he? See, if it wasn't the Catholic Church, it wasn't the Muslim pushing white Jesus. See, they didn't cover over the face of Yahweh Shah. Now, when you go into Apostle Paul, he also did the same thing with the 2 Thessalonians. He said they would be doing the same situation. The man of sin, the son of perdition. See, that's why it says they came out of they were going to go into perdition, because he's going to be the son of destruction, to destroy this Gentile king rulership, pretty much. This Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, starting at verse 3, it said, "Let no man deceive you by any means, because he coming with deception. And this is gonna be how he gonna deceive the whole world. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." This is how you reveal the man of sin. See, and they got they got Daniel 7, where he come and change the whole situation with the fourth kingdom. See, this fourth kingdom is that man of sin. That fourth kingdom is the son of perdition. And what was that fourth kingdom going to do? Verse 4 of this Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, verse 4, it says, "Who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worship, so that he, as God, sit in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." So anything that was worship, he put himself above that and made himself to be worshiped as white Jesus. Then it says it's showing himself that he is God. See, the fourth kingdom and the Edomite rulership, they was going to show themselves that they was God. Jump down to verse 8. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed." How was that? Who was the wicked? See, who was the wicked in the scripture? Let's get Malachi chapter 1. Malachi, in the beginning of Malachi, in his writings, he let it be known that it's a major battle that's going on, and it just clicked my picture off of here, man. But anyways, I was gonna leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.